Good evening. South Australia would be the cheapest state in the nation to do business under a major tax shake-up designed to reinvigorate the lagging economy. Commercial stamp duty will be scrapped and red tape slashed as part of a state budget focused on job creation.
Rolling out the red carpet to business.
The best place to do business. Not just a slogan, but actually putting it into practice.
Tom Koutsantonis unveiling what he describes as the largest tax reform in the state's history.
What I'm doing is I'm unlocking those entrepreneurial spirits that in the South Australian community have grown this state to go out there and grow even more.
Among the taxes to be scrapped, stamp duty on all commercial property transfers. For a $10 million property, stamp duty is currently more than $500,000. From July next year, that'll drop significantly, before being wiped out completely in 2018. Also gone stamp duty on goodwill and some other business transfers, while the rebate on payroll tax will be extended.
What we're giving the people of South Australia is the most competitive and efficient tax system in the nation, second to none.
Despite the high hopes for jobs growth, the government isn't sure exactly what impact the new measures will have on the state's economy. What's your modelling telling you about the benefit?
We keep getting asked that question.
Look, what we're trying to do is encourage more transactions. Through the more transactions, you create more jobs, more activity.
In a budget all about business, there were few other sweeteners. $51 million was allocated to improve the state's ailing child protection system. An extra $110 million was set aside for roads, including a new road to open up Gawler East to housing, and more than $60 million to refurbish and build new housing trust homes. On average, government charges will increase by 2.4% from July 1, the lowest increase in 11 years, but still almost twice the rate of inflation. A modest return to surplus is being forecast by 2016, the first time since the global financial crisis. But with millions of dollars of taxes going out and no major savings initiatives implemented, the state opposition is sceptical.
Next year he's predicting a wafer-thin $40 million surplus. Well, quite frankly, given their history in terms of delivering surpluses, I'm not going to hold my breath.
Rory McLaren, 9 News.
And joining us live now is Treasurer Tom Koutsantonis. Treasurer, welcome. You've announced millions of dollars in tax savings. That's money you can no longer budget on. What's had to go to make that happen?
Nothing. We're cutting our own cloth over the next 4 years to try and make sure we can give business the certainty they need. The business community and indeed South Australians need to know that these tax cuts are affordable. There'll be budget surpluses across the forward estimates, and we're giving South Australian business the competitive advantage they need and they deserve.
Well, aside from those business tax cuts you mentioned and the hope that it will create jobs, what's in the budget for Adelaide families?
Oh, it's jobs. I mean, we're talking about the businesses that are employing people who are sitting at home tonight watching this program, giving them more security, more money to invest in their business, rewarding those entrepreneurs and business leaders who want to go out and grow. This budget is about rewarding activity. If you're out there and you're working hard, if you're out there and you've got an idea, you're an entrepreneur, this budget rewards you. This is all about unlocking that entrepreneurial spirit that South Australians are so famous for.
Now, you're forecasting a surplus in 2016, but a significantly reduced one of just $43 million. What's changed since the mid-year review?
Oh, well, tax cuts cost money, Brenton. They cost money to deliver. We're taking revenue away from the government. We're giving it back to business. And quite frankly, we want business to take that money and invest it in their own businesses. The government has no place in being involved in business decisions or taxing goodwill or taxing intellectual property. We had nothing to do with creating it, so why should we tax it?
Well, Treasurer, a big day. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And while the budget has been sold as good for business, the Treasurer has failed to win over all of the state's business leaders, some arguing the plan to generate jobs doesn't go far enough.
It's a budget call to arms to business.
There's no more excuses now for business. This is a huge exercise in trust.
But the chief of the state's business body isn't so confident the tax reforms will deliver jobs growth.
Honestly, right now, just these measures, probably not.
And won't turn around the state's unemployment rate.
I'm concerned that we've got this level of unemployment before some of the other major events in our economy are about to occur.
Among them, the jobs hit to come with the Holden closure. But he did, though, join the chorus welcoming the phase-out of stamp duty on commercial property.
This will generate genuine stimulation in the property market here in South Australia.
But again, the cheers were muted.
The government missed an opportunity here. Every other state has seen a booming housing market.
We're confident that over years to come it will extend to residential.
The government has kept to its mantra of a jobs budget by quarantining cuts to the public sector.
Which is good for South Australian families. They will continue to get improved services.
Not that it's pleased everyone.
We have around 81,000 public servants in a state the size of South Australia, and I guess you've got to ask why.
This budget also allocates $260 million to the government's transforming health reforms. But the Nursing Federation says Labor has actually taken the axe to health funding.
This budget is unrealistic and unachievable. Our reading of it is there's more than $28 million in cuts.
And there was disappointment in funding for rural roads.
There's potential for that to actually be less when we need those rural roads looked after.
But credit for money for public housing and child protection.
This is all positive stuff, but small steps and a lot more needs to be done.
Harvey Biggs, 9 News.